Welcome back. You're now tuned into the other side of sports. I'm your host, Laws, in the building. We got my man Aaron. Of course, you already know we rocking out, but we got a special guest in the building rocking with us. My man Rick Jarvis, the one and only dog. This dude, we go back like what they say. We go back like hoodies and slouch socks, dog.
Yep. The back when we both was 4'11".
Oh yeah, dog. Rick is my man from way back in the Wayback Machine. We hoop heavy, dog. We was trying to go pro, dog. I swear, back in the day, Bama's had real hoop dreams. Kids nowadays don't have hoop dreams like we did, dog.
They not competitive like we was. Like we really believed that we was going pro. You, Carl, I know for a fact, genuinely believed like it was going to happen. Like we was out there every single day. Like you lose, run it back, fighting like fought all day. Like
it was real. It was real for sure. It was real for sure. We got a bunch of topics we're gonna try to jump into. I mean, getting right here on the precipice of the season, we hype. It's a lot of stuff happening that we're gonna talk about today's show. Before we get into all of that, before we get into even our question of the day, dog, there's something that gotta stop, dog. This joint where every restaurant, every place you go to buy food and do stuff, they want a tip. They got the tip jump. They asking for a tip in 7-Eleven now, dog. What is going on? No! Dog, it gotta stop, bro. I'm not tipping Alabama when I'm going to pick the food up from the restaurant. Why am I giving y'all a tip?
Are you giving them a tip? That's the
I'm
question.
not, but I'm just saying it's like
why you mad?
No, the fact they
the jars
me,
there.
Dog, it's upsetting me because the fact they even asking, bro. Dog, you pump your gas after the gas finished. That jump like, do you want a tip? No. Is this the new wave, dog? Everything is a tip. Dog, I think restaurants done took full advantage of the jump because like my man, shout out my man Chris. He said he went to dinner one night. The Bama had a gratuity already on his check.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
And then it's another tip jump. Like, do you still want a tip?
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
He's like, I thought it's already a tip. Like, nah, that's this is to make sure that the wait staff is getting regular pay or something funny, dog.
Restaurant ownership is definitely a scam. Because they don't have to pay them but like $2 an hour. And then if they report less tips than what the average is, they can still get audited because it's like you're supposed to make this much in tips. It's a whole scam.
No, it's a dirty game, but it's the junk. Everybody scamming, dog. Ice cream man want a tip. Everybody want a tip, dog. Can I get a tip?
Ice cream
can
man.
y'all tip me?
Pause?
OSS 980, can y'all tip? For the entertainment value? Good night.
Harold said he working for tips.
See, dog, that's why we not. This is my show. We ain't going to do that.
See, we can't live like this.
All right, hey, question of the day comes in. It says, recently I moved out of my parents' house and with my boyfriend. He's basically been staying with me every day. He's at my house when I'm away at work, and it's a struggle to make him go home. He eats a lot of my groceries, and all he does is smoke our weed, which I pay the majority for, and eat food and watch TV. He doesn't drive. He makes me pick him up every time, and he doesn't even pay for any gas. If he wants to go drive around, it's on my dime. I feel like I'm supporting a child in something because I'm basically feeding and paying bills for two. He doesn't understand that I cannot afford this. He claims it's a necessity to buy groceries to feed yourself. I'm well capable of feeding myself, but $200 for food should last me about a week or two. And if he's eating as much as he is, it's not feeding him anymore while he's at my house. He's full blown, basically living rent free. Literally, they're more than I am, and I can't do anything about it because he doesn't see the problem. What should I do?
Don't ask me a dumb question you don't answer to.
You know the answer to that. You enabled the Bama, like you ain't set no boundaries, like you let
This Bama on 2K. When she walk in the door, this Bama just look at the door and we on 2K.
Yeah, you know, she got a baby boy. Like, you know what to do. Like, why would you even entertain that? That's your fault for real. Like, you're grown.
Yeah, dog. I mean, Aaron, what she got to do, Aaron? You want to give her some
You gotta
advice?
get another one. But the sad part is something about this dude attracted her to him. So you don't just. It's not like a video game. You press random select and you just get matched up with a random person. Like something happened where you was like, this the dude I want to have in my space. So you got to figure that part out, and then once you get that sorted out, get you another. But you got to get rid of this dude.
Yeah, dog. He gonna eat you out of house and home. This Bama just gonna take.
Bama don't drive. She driving them around.
Dog, the fact that you cool with that, I mean, actually, she's not cool with it, but you haven't done anything about it, means that you cool with it, dog.
Exactly.
That's just
it
the
could be
bottom
desperation.
line.
Some people don't want to be alone.
She might be
ain't send us a picture.
jump. Yeah,
right. So she can't just
right.
pick up another joint.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? She can't go out to the club and come back with 4 numbers to pick from. She might be waiting 6 months for the next piece of whatever she gonna get. So you know how that goes.
You gotta have more self-respect for yourself, young. You know what?
Yeah, that's esteem or something, because I wish I might.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because dudes do this every day. And you know what I mean? It's just standard procedure. But when a youngin' got to dealing with somebody that don't got nothing, and you having to be the leader, the provider, and all that stuff, that joint be racking their brain. They be going through it. But dudes do it every day.
Because they really want the old way, even though they say they want things to change, this, that, and the third. Like, when things do change, this is what it looks like. Because this is what we deal with. But as a man, I wouldn't do it. But, you know what I'm saying? Each their own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to find another one. First, to Aaron's point, you probably gonna need some counseling because it's something wrong with how you picking to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It's similar like similar like evaluators on teams, dog. You keep getting first round picks that you have to drop.
You keep picking Zach Wilson.
Your evaluations.
Mark Sanchez's.
You gotta start there. You gotta start with the evaluation, dog.
Geno Smith's.
Speaking of which, just had this guy, Chris Strevelar, on their roster. Bama was cooking in the preseason, dog. Game 1, 6 for 9, 62, 2 touchdowns, including a game winner with 16 seconds left. Game 2 comes out, fries again, 8 for 11, 119, a touchdown. Came in with the Jets down 16-3. So he basically led the team to victory. And I don't care what you say. It's hard to lead teams to victory when you playing with scrubs and backups and third strings and fourth stringers. Like, you getting a hodgepodge of offensive line and stuff. So to me, that means something. Then game 3, he's 10 for 13, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns, including another game winner with 23 seconds left in the game, dog. What else you got to do to get a roster spot? The Jets cut this man.
The Jets is the Jets.
But when you have that kind of success in preseason, you're going to become a fan favorite, particularly to certain kinds of fans on the team. And so we see a lot of times certain franchises or certain quarterbacks will get hey, we need competition at every position. So what if you're a first round pick? You should automatically beat this guy out. But the majority of the time, what you see is teams worrying about the psyche of their quarterback and them being fickle and not wanting them to have to hear or feel the pressure of somebody who fans adore being behind them. Because especially if you don't have confidence in that quarterback to be successful. If he's still a project and you're still hoping he's going to be good versus him coming out and showing you that, he's going to be the guy, he just needs time. That can be a real tricky situation for a fan base.
Dog, the politics of the NFL, dog, and the egos that go into it just destroy franchises, dog. Because you had to let Sam Darnold go prematurely and he couldn't get his whole 10-year time because you realized after you picked him, he was a scrub, TLC style.
And
And
if you would have
then
watched the evaluations on OSS, you wouldn't have picked him in the first round.
you wouldn't have
You would
picked
have
him in the
known.
first. Then you go back and you pick another scrub Johnson and it's Zach Wilson, and then you trying to hope he the guy, and then you got a guy on your team that shows that he's capable. I don't care what you tell me, Aaron. Joe Flacco is not the answer, dog. He can't lead you to no victories. He can't help you and your team win no games. None of the above,
He
dog.
can't
I
help
don't know what
develop your
kind.
quarterback because he's
He
not even
can't
signing
help
up for
develop
that.
you. Exactly. So what is you doing? If winning is at the top of your priority list, you got a guy who remotely looks like he may be capable, dog. You're not looking at Super Bowl with this team, dog. I mean, we're just gonna keep it all the way 100. So you really don't have nothing to lose to put somebody who's gonna light a fire or potentially could lead your team to victories. You're not going to do that. You're going to expel that man from your team. To keep a Zach Wilson on your team. To just make sure that his confidence level, like, dog, it's trash to me because they don't do that for nobody else across the NFL.
Gotta protect him.
Dog, you actually, real talk, you protect them by putting somebody behind him who's going to push him to be good and be great, dog.
I mean,
Because
that's
otherwise you
cool,
allow mediocrity.
but you know these other quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying? Like they used to get their ass kissed. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to fight the way we do. So they like to keep that going. They scared of competition for real.
Dog, we see it over there in Tennessee. Dog, Malik Willis looked like the real deal. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100.
Yeah.
He looked better than I thought he would look this early.
He was the number
But
one rated
that
one
was
going in.
because, yeah, go ahead.
He was the number one rated one going in, and then like they changed their mind last minute because I wanted the Steelers to get him, but they took Kenny Pickett, and I'm like, Kenny Pickett don't have no, like, his ceiling is too limited. It's like I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So Malik Willis, like, if you groom him the right way, Bama is a cooker. He got a gun. He's fast. Like he can get the job done. And so they just need to groom him the right way. And old Tannehill ain't gonna be popping slick on him like he did cuz in Miami. Like I'm better.
He didn't want to tutor him. He came out in the first press conference talking about my job is not to help nobody on the team. You know, of
He
course,
don't need your help. He don't want your help because you a bum.
Hey, no. Aaron, what was you gonna say?
I don't even remember. Oh no, just that the only reason you're surprised about how he's performing is because, like, when we did the evaluations, we said he's the number one guy on the board. It was clear. But you know, the draft process, they always propose these projective reasons why they're not going to be successful when it comes to certain quarterbacks. Those weren't in your head prior to the draft process creeping up because he was number one all year long. You get to the draft and all of a sudden they surge up these other guys. It happens every year. These other guys surpass the guy who was supposed to be the top guy. Same thing with Daniel Jones. You know, you just kind of see every year the same thing happens. And so prior to that, you wouldn't have been surprised based on what he did in college.
You're right.
Prior to the draft process, there would have been no surprise whatsoever because he was clear-cut the number one guy.
The talks was like they was just like trying to touch the coon chip and see if they could activate.
Yeah, you saw it with Mitchell Trubisky. You saw it with Lamar Jackson draft year. You see it every year. Yeah. There's one guy who jumps out when you watch the games, but then when the draft process gets to the part where there are no more games to be played, they start playing mental chess with you, telling you reasons why. Oh, this isn't going to work.
Dog, I'm telling you, Tannehill on a short leash. We're gonna see what Tannehill made of, cause I'm telling you that fractured ego is gonna get tested, dog. When you got a Bama who's making everybody ooh and ah and doing some Lamar Jackson-ish type moves and throwing a rock with zip and moving it around from the pocket, all the above, and you know Tannehill. He's not as athletic as he once was, and you know he hasn't been a very consistent quarterbacking. The weapons have changed. I mean, it's just more pressure on him. We're gonna see if he can handle it. Because Malik Willis looked like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did like remember that time when the Seattle Seahawks, how they did the Russell Wilson, and then you know I think they had Lynn at the time. who couldn't bust a grip, Matt Flynn or one of them Bama's, dog. And then
Matt
they just
Green Bay.
yeah, and then they just pivoted. Like after the last preseason, next thing you know, it was like, yeah, we started Russell Wilson. Everybody was in shock. Then the Bama just turned out to be just a cold mega beast. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, dog. I would not be surprised. On to some other quarterbacks, dog. That's special. Yeah, is Lamar? Is he tripping not getting the agent, dog? Because right now, he said all the right things. He's been doing all the right things. Dog, if I could say anything to Lamar Jackson, dog, it's don't trust these Bamas, dog. These organizations is not for you, dog. I don't care what Harbaugh is saying to you. I don't care, dog. You have to protect yourself. And sometimes I feel like you can easily be blinded from the inside when you like so close to the situation. You need someone on the outside to kind of negotiate, tell you maybe to do some things that you may not want to do, like sit out and not play. I know Tyler Huntley kind of makes that a little bit kind of weird because he's shown himself to be capable, but still, dog, you have to do something. You can't just go out here and play for these dudes and they not pay you. You out here tweeting. So what makes this a conversation, before I get y'all thoughts, is that Lamar Jackson recently, liked some tweets that had him in a Miami's Dolphin uniform. There was another tweet that came out and somebody said something about the Ravens offering him $250 million guaranteed. And he tweeted, it was like, that's the lie. That's not true. They didn't offer me that or whatever. Something in the nature substantiating that they did not offer him any deals. Does he need to like back off of Twitter and fall back and just hire somebody to come in and speak for him? Because I just think he's too close to the situation. And I mean, right now is an opportune time for him to cash out. He about to go into a season being underpaid in a league that does not value black quarterbacks to begin with. I just think that could potentially hurt his value if he gets another injury or something of that nature, or shows to be inconsistent in some capacities. I don't think he's inconsistent. Lamar Jackson, you already know that's my man. I think.
So let me ask this: you think he's worth less than Deshaun Watson?
No.
If Deshaun Watson touching butts and doing all this perv stuff, and he got 250, what you think Lamar supposed to get?
280 minimum.
And they haven't offered him 250, right? So what he supposed to do? Right now, they just punish him because he don't have one of their guys representing him. How dare you cut us out cut us out the picture and think you could do it yourself? So there's a little bit of punishment, but he's betting on himself to be, play smart. Generally speaking, other than last year, he didn't really have a bunch of injury history for as physical as he plays. And I also believe part of the reason he didn't come back last year when he could have was the fact that he hadn't been extended. So I think they're trying to punish him. I think he's betting on himself. Go out, have another Lamar Jackson year. You don't have to play outside yourself. You don't need nothing. You don't need a miracle. You don't need manna from the sky. Just go out there, be yourself. And you could pull a Kirk Cousins level raid out the drink. Because if they gotta get a Bama franchise tag and then another franchise tag, it's going to get to the point where he's going to end up making significantly more than he would have accepted taking less than Deshaun or some of these other guys that got paid. And it's not the fact that necessarily ranking how good you are is when you get paid. And these other guys the Ravens chose to wait, and these other guys got paid before him. He's supposed to be the next guy up. He's supposed to be the highest paid. So that's how it's going to go.
I feel like if Ozzie Newsome was still there, I feel like this would have been done. Because Ozzie get it done because he overpaid what's his name off of promise, Joe Flacco. Because he like, you win me a championship, open checkbook, and Flacco destroyed that organization.
Dog, that Batman had probably the greatest 4-game run ever.
Might be the best playoff run ever.
No, that 4-game in the playoff, that Batman he looked like Montana out that show.
Who had a better 4-game run, him or Eli?
That's the only person I was thinking of.
Eli Joe,
but it might be Flacco though.
But Flacco, because Eli was at least serviceable. Like he had a solid season where people knew Eli could play, and he a man, so his last name automatically like gave him a little more cachet. But Flacco, dog, ain't
He saved
nobody
them
seen
Bama's
that
from a
jump play.
couple games. Like their defense basically kept the Giants in it, and the Ravens defense is known for being good. But again, against Peyton Manning and the Broncos, like they was finished. That Jacoby Jones touchdown bomb, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
almost no other quarterback in the league could make. Like his clutch factor was just he was a completely different player.
Yeah,
Almost like Bama
yeah.
say
He
Jimmy
was like
Butler
Nick
is.
Foles. He was Nick Foles for like how
Yeah,
Nick Foles was in that championship run, which is it was unreal, dog. It was unreal.
and got
They
him
tried,
paid. And never
they
was
tried
close
to
to
turn the
that
lights out
since.
on them Bama's, dog, and then, that Super Bowl. Yeah, but he never was close to that. Like that Bama's he's still living off of that cachet though.
Facts. He been out the league 5 years ago. If
Yeah,
he hadn't went on that
they
run.
want to say facts. Other quarterback news. Jimmy G, Trey Lance. They extended Jimmy G 1-year contract to keep him on the roster. Trey Lance, by all the reports, has not looked the greatest in training camp and in the preseason games, shown to be inaccurate at times, and looks to be a development, right? I think the organization as a whole is trying to hedge their bets. They trying to say this guy's not ready yet, but we're just gonna keep him just in case. And whenever you hedge your bets, you just break even, dog. It's a road to mediocrity, in my opinion. If you gonna let Trey Lance rock out, let him rock out. This is the same situation that we talking about with the Jets. They got rid of Obama because they don't want to mess with the ego of the starting quarterback. And here they bringing on Obama, who's not that great, but he still, poses a threat to Trey Lance. Is actually taking the keys to this team, dog. That's like saying we're gonna give you the keys to the car, but we're just gonna have your brother sit in here and drive with you. Like you can't go to the store by yourself. Like you.
So there's a push and pull going on with the GM and the head coach because they had different opinions about which quarterback to take anyway. You've seen Mac Jones over there with the Patriots have at least some moderate success. So there's going to always be this like who was right. That's how the WME works. Like they play in chess trying to get the ultimate W when it comes to this. So if the Bama haven't been playing well, he hasn't been playing well. Like just because they give you the cheat code for the other guys doesn't mean necessarily that the cheat code is the best thing for the team. If you feel like the Bama can't play, if you feel like you're going to lose the locker room by having him go out there, and then you got Jimmy Garoppolo going somewhere else and going 500, or at least having a Kirk Cousins like season where you hovering around being getting playoff hopes, and then your team ends up being 5-12 after being in the Super Bowl just a year ago. That's when coaches lose locker rooms.
Yeah, it's untenable.
So it's almost like a negotiation where nobody really wants Jimmy Garoppolo, the shoulder injury. You got all this stuff going on where he's not going to get the value you feel like you warrant. Okay. Why get rid of him if you could keep him? If Lance is sorry, he got other things to worry about other than who's backing him up for real.
Yeah, I just think that it's a like sometimes you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward.
I agree 100%.
And I think like for a situation like with Trey Lance, right? He already sat an entire year. They went to the almost, a pick away from Super Bowl win, right? They're grooming the next guy. It's year 2. They by all accounts, they like, oh yeah, we pivoted away from Garoppolo, and they like basically saying they stated that they were going in a new direction.
They playing backfire. But that's not like I agree with you 100%. If you're gonna be bad, I want to be as bad as I can be and get a top draft pick and get somebody else. Like if you took a guy that high, you got to ride that bet out. I'm not hedging the joint. I'm not buying myself out on the last game. You know what I mean? Getting 70%. No, ride the joint all the way out. Win big or lose big. That's the way you get better in the NFL. That's the way you win games. But that's not how they think. It's all about ego and legacy and being right. And if they can hedge, not looking like they was wrong, even though they know, you know what, this might not have been what we should have done. That's what they're going to do because they can find a way to spin it later on. It's only a couple of guys that are from that other side in the league that have the balls to go that way. Belichick is one of them. You got Harbaugh, the one that's in Michigan now. But it's only a handful of guys in the league. Most of them, dog, their ego is so fragile, and all they care about is how their peer group perceives their genius to be. That's all they care about. It's not really about winning, other than to look like a genius to the masses.
Rick, what you think, man? You think this a good move to bring Garoppolo back? I know it's safe. I'm not going to dispute that it's safe. I'm just saying, when you bet safe,
and they didn't think this through the way they should. Like Garoppolo's contract and the way versus the way he played, they should have known he wasn't gonna get nobody to trade for him. So the way they jumped out there just made the situation messier than it needed to be.
Right.
Because
don't say anything.
Yeah, like he was a top paid quarterback, like one of the top paid quarterbacks out there stinking it up. So what nobody about to pay all that money to watch him overthrow people? Like he threw them out the Super Bowl. Like
they tried for a minute. They tried to spin the narrative for a quick second. They were like, Garoppolo's our guy, and they tried for a quick second, but then they were like, nah, because his ceiling is limited, though. And then everybody was always like questioning their ability to win with Garoppolo. Like when the Bama's run game was top notch, and he could do a couple little bootlegs off the play action pass, then it was good. But when he had to throw 30 times plus, it was a fail. So
cause he that one play when he overthrew, cause when dude had a
wide butt naked
after the end zone, he overthrew him. It's like, that's when I was like, cause I never really liked Garoppolo, but when he did that, it's like, that right there, that's make you fight about him on the sideline. Like, dog, I'm wide open. You're an NFL quarterback, and you miss me like that. That means
you can't get him jumps up, though.
Because you need them. Made that, and my arm strength is worse. I look like Taylor Heineke.
67.
Mine 52.
No. Yeah, man. I don't know. We gonna watch it. I mean, shout out my man Justin Buns. He swore he a 49ers fan all the way. He's swearing like it ain't no big deal and it's a smart move and stuff like that. I just know, young, when you try to put 50 on black and red.
Yep.
But if you just talking about wins and losses in 2022, it's a smart move. They're not going to lose more games because they have Garoppolo. Worst case, even if it's one game, they win more games than they would have won. But when you talk about does this like long term, there's no value in it, but it's just a 1 year deal. So I think this move is just about 2022 and them not knowing what they have in Trey Lance.
Okay.
They weren't going to win the Super Bowl with Trey Lance.
It's insurance, dog. It's insurance.
The Super Bowl days, that's closed. That window's closed.
But honestly though, I think you could have said the same thing when Kaepernick was on the 49ers roster, dog, and he first took over. Like nobody saw them going to the Super Bowl that same year he took over. No, but it was no fan in the world thought that they had an opportunity.
I thought they were better. So let's keep in context. Kaepernick won me a lot of money at Nevada. So I was aware of the Bama before he became a national, thing or whatever. So, and I despise Alex Smith, probably more than any player that's ever quarterbacked in the league because of his style of play. I cannot stand the Bama. So when they made the switch, I thought they had a chance to be better. The team was loaded around them. So I don't think that's a fair comp because I don't think Trey Lance can touch Colin Kaepernick at the point in Colin Kaepernick's career where he came in and started playing.
Okay.
I think they're leagues away.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to argue with my brother John about Kaepernick because at that time, that's when RG3 was out. And he was like, dog, Cap better. Cap got a better gun. And we used to argue about it all the time. But Cap confidence is on 99 though, so
yeah, he just had the glow.
Yeah,
he did. Shout out to Cap. He just had another baby. I saw it on the IG. Now we down here, man. I don't even know what I want to talk about first. I want to talk about this how the streets ain't safe though.
they ain't
come down it.
I do this for a living. They ain't been,
Yo,
and it's now it's
What
getting
year?
because it's spilling over into the areas that they didn't spill over into before. Because before it just happened in the trenches.
East of the river.
Now it's going down broad daylight. Walk around.
yo, these carjackings getting out of control, dog.
Because it's kids. There's no punishment.
Yo,
Because the thing is, what happened was there's been an overcorrection. So, before they over-sentence us for petty stuff, you spit on the ground, you're going in the paddy wagon. So because of that, they overcorrected it to now they just sending the kids right back home like next day or just a couple weeks later, if that. But they don't have no intervention in place for them. And so with that, they think it's sweet. And it really is sweet. Like if you live in that lifestyle and you can do what you want and there's really no major checks and balances and consequences, there's no intervention in place.
No accountability, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to think
remember
you don't have the social maturity at the time like to even put together like I'm going to crash out at some point. And then even if you do, in some of them's mind frame, it's like live for the moment, F tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you gonna have to put some of these jokers down for good.
Man, I'm doing the intervention part. Like I got, you know what I'm saying? I work with the
No,
youth.
Rick for the people, dog. I'm not with all that, dog. I want to just be able to go to the gas station and 50 Batmans with hammers don't harass me, dog, or carjack me.
It's been like that. It's just, and I hate to say it, but it needed to start happening in quote unquote safer areas, because if not, we just get thrown away. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't care for all this time. Like I'll give you a perfect example. They did not give a damn about all the shootings that was going on. Like up at Anacostia, it goes down. Like they was in front of Kramer yesterday with a pistol. Cuz had a little kid had a pistol. I don't know if it was a kid, I know, but somebody had a pistol out there in front of Kramer. You heard nothing about it. I know about it because of what I do for a living. But when somebody shot around at the school on, was it Connecticut Avenue, and then it's national news, it's speeches and all this, oh, we got to do something about this. I'm seeing all these white families like, we heard the shots and my kids are still traumatized to go back to school because we heard the shots in our house. And I'm like, our kids are the ones getting
Grew up
shot
like that.
and you don't damn, but you got these little white kids that hear it, and now it's like we got to do something about it. They heard the shots. We hear shots every night. How many times in the group chat I'm talking about they shooting again? It's a good neighborhood, but down the street, it ain't so good. It ain't bad, but it ain't so good. So it's like they don't care unless it affects them. So I'm like, it needed to start happening in their areas, and that's the only way stuff is going to get done, because outside of that, it's like nobody cares.
Dog, Brian Robinson, dog, is carjacked.
Why was? See, you hate to say it, but how did this Bama end up over there?
A youngin', you know how.
It had to be a young cop.
It had. Listen, all the terrible positions I ever been in my life, dog. I kid you not, dog. All the situations that I've been when I was young and I was like out here moving and shaking, dog. When I would wake up and look around and be like, yeah, how did I get here, dog? 99.9% a bad youngin' was in the equation somewhere, dog. So we know how he got down there.
He might have just Googled where to find a good crab ball or something.
Dog, nah.
It'd be on the apps like looking up. Oh, I know it's a spot over here, and go over there.
but this is the thing. How many y'all ever woke up and said, you know what, I want a crab boy? I be seeing all youngins on IG talking about going to get a crab boy.
First of all, if I get a crab boy, my whole face will break out in hives, dog. I gotta go straight to the emergency room ASAP. I'll be sick for 32 days, dog. If I touch a crab boy, dog. No crabs, dog. I ain't tell you the story. One time I went out. See, I'm telling you. One time I went out. This is my younger days. Went out again. Every bad situation I ever been in, some bad youngin was in the mix. Young is like, hey, you want to taste my crab pizza? Dog, I'm at Venice, dog. I don't eat crab. I don't eat shrimp, none of that stuff. I'm like, all right, I taste it. No! Boom, taste the crab pizza, dog. I ain't even make it home, dog. I'm throwing up out the whip. I'm like, young, stomach hurt, dog. I barely survived to the next morning, yeah.
He was eating
That's
sea
hilarious.
roaches, though.
It's crazy.
I definitely eat crabs like Ado to mom. My family, every summer we used to have like a crab feast at my aunt's house. And
No, crabs is fine. Do you go get seafood boils? The little joints that be in the bag that
yeah,
youngins be on IG.
yeah, I don't. But you know, these young dudes different. They very
And how you end up
Adventurous.
on 8th Street? Like this is the part I don't understand.
Dog,
Like
some of them
I
areas
be
you
over
can
that joint
tell
every
it's
week. I'm over there. It's nothing over there for a Bama in the league. Not a thing.
nothing.
Maybe at
Nothing.
nighttime when they got the little spots that open up. But dog, you came all the way across the water to come to get a crab boil or 8th Street from Loudoun County.
I'm not buying it, dog. I'm not buying it.
Oh no, I can't.
No, by the grace of God, he ain't get murdered. I mean, he
tried to
got shot.
He
He already good.
out his hand. He got the gun away from the first kid.
Oh, so
They
he was
shot
watching
him.
that video about the other young.
Oh, yeah. So there was another youngin earlier in the day. Well, I don't know if it was earlier today, but they put it up on the news. Youngin was out in the middle of the street. One of the kids ran up on her. The lady looked and basically confronted the kid, like, you gonna do what? Like, what? Like, nah, I'm not gonna just give it to you. Woo, woo. Basically pushed back. The little dude tucked this gun and ran. She picked up her stuff and went on her way. They made her American hero on TV. And then by sunset, them Bama's was blasting on sight, dog. Anybody they was going.
Cause
That was so dangerous, dog, for them to try. Like, that's a story they should have just tucked and kept to themselves. It was, to me, it was no value in kind of like, it was no value in broadcasting that in that way to make it think like it's a terrible idea for every person that does that and gets away with it and gets celebrated. It's 10 other people that tried to drink that's boxed up.
Dog, and you know how these youngins be going. Soon as he got hold of, dog, you on TV, dog, you ain't blaster. That's what the Bama's is saying. These kids do not. You ain't
But
blaster.
look at Saul. Look at soft ass so and so.
Yeah, they went in on him, dog. And then they put the battery in his back. Like they took, dog. You think it was a battery in his back before? They took that battery and upgraded the battery pack in his back. Now this Bama's going to blast.
You got the Duracell joints now.
Yeah, dog. You even look and blink at the Bama, dog. You could blow the Bama a kiss. He going to blast you, dog. It don't matter.
Dog, I seen it with my own two eyes. I seen somebody, they was trying to set somebody up and he wasn't really with it. And everybody started like not, they was like, oh, you ain't built, you just ain't built for this street shit. You got a conscience and all that. And then next thing you know, he started wilding more.
Telling you as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for good.
Dog, these Bama's don't have structures like you and I, dog. Some of their parents be encouraging the foolishness, dog. Be telling them to rob people and get them at ATMs, and then they come home, they be like, good job, son. Like, I'm telling you, these are the kind of homes that these Bama's come from. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm already hip. And like another problem also is you'll have some that the kids that's robbing everything, they raising the parents pretty much. Like, because like whoever's in charge at home is either might be going through something or just doesn't have the capacity or even the focus to do what they need to do. And so the kid just do what they want to do. Like I'm
glad Brian Robinson okay though. I'm glad he made it out of the I guess he had his surgery, went well. He already been discharged, so that's good news. He does have a roster spot on the Washington Commanders. Was definitely in the mix, taking the job from Antonio Gibson, and it seemed like he bouncing back fairly quickly. So, I hope he he learned. Can't go everywhere, dog.
Yeah, and also you can't fight every battle. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, because I know exactly what happened. You know how them athletes be. Because I seen them up at Bowie State all the time. You big, you lift weights. You think you can whoop the world. 6'1", 215. This little kid come up to you like, man, what you gonna do with that, man? And he wrestled it away. The other Bama said, all right.
Nah, you ain't gonna get my friend.
Yeah, like what would you do? Like if me and you was wilding out like that, if somebody pressed you, I'm not about to just stand there, because now I got to see you when we get back.
Yeah.
So
And that's the other side of the coin to being big and imposing. You know, most Bamas ain't gonna fight you. So if a Bama's strapped, he'd much rather be ducking a shooting charge than going home with a black eye and busted nose.
You can't have a strap and then go home beat up. You can't. You gotta move. You gotta move to a whole new state, dog. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. You cannot go home if you got the strap and you get beat up. With these young Bamas, how they be acting, no, they don't play video games no more. They don't go outside hoop. They don't do none of the stuff we did, dog.
They do. They be playing Grand Theft and Call of Duty in real life.
They just terrible.
Yeah, Call of Duty inside the house and outside the house.
Dog. Yeah. Speaking of bad decisions, before we get out of here, Scott Frost, dog, Nebraska coach. We talk about the Eagles. Bama's up 28-17 going into the third quarter, bro, versus Northwestern. Decides to kick an onside kick. Gives Northwestern short field. These Bama score a touchdown. Ultimately leads to the momentum that shifts, and then Northwestern ends up winning the game versus Nebraska. You firing Scott Frost?
I would have. Because your season's over. College is unlike any other sport. You get that L, it's
one
over.
L. Yeah, it's like boxing, dog. You catch one L, you can forget turning pro.
If you're not Alabama or Clemson, it's over.
I just think, it's a dumb decision. And people can say what they want. Hindsight, blah, blah. All these people coming to defend him. And, it's decisions, it's part of the game. Like, dog, it's unacceptable. Do up 2 scores. First of all, getting onside kicks, the percentage of it is not even high. It's low. It's a low percentage you're going to get the jump back. It's like, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but it got to be like
11, 12%.
Yeah, it's something low. Like, it's like out of 10 onside kicks, Bama's might get 1 back. So, like, what are we? Those are the odds you want to take to try to stop a mud hole? Dog, just play D. Yeah, it wasn't like they were just like super dominating. They was on the way to dominating, but like you let them back. You gave them hope. You gave them hope, dog. And so, as a coach, this is a dumb decision. He need to own it all the way. I don't know if he was trying to make excuses or not, but ain't no excuses in my book. This is dumb. You know they going. You already know how that go. But it was idiotic. You ain't playing Madden. I don't even kick onside kicks in Madden, dog.
At all.
How many onside kicks you get back in Madden, dog? I can count on one hand. I've been playing Madden 12, 15 years, dog. I can count on one hand all the onside kicks I ever got back, dog. I think game day was the best jump where you could kick the like fluke onsides and get them back. It was like a glitch on the jump. No, other than that, you're not getting them back.
That was all ego, trying to front run. Only one of the only games on TV, dog. I'd have fired his ass right there on the spot.
Yeah, get him out of here, dog.
If I want an idiot,
I could just have anybody just be the coach of the team, dog. That was dumb. So dumb. Follow us at OSS980 at Other Side of Sports. Shout out to my man Rick for joining us, hanging out with the crew today. Shout out to Where's Buffy Podcast. Shout out to G-Band. Shout out to Lance J Radio. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha, Holly Cotton, Jenna Garcia, everybody who rock with us heavy. Share the content. If you want to be a part of the OSS Pick'em, right? It's a select group. That's why I waited to the end of the show to share this. You want to be a part of the OSS Pick'em, you gotta DM me your information. I got some of your information already because y'all listened to the last show. You want to be in the Pick'em League, you gotta DM me your number. I'm gonna start a chat up. We're gonna add you to the chat so you can be in the Pick'em and you have a chance to win prizes. It's the bottom line. The season starts in a week. Next week we're gonna have D on the show. We back, dog. We back.
The season start next week?
Yes.
Yep, next Thursday night, right?
Dang.
Yes. Season starts next week. What they gonna do, dog? They look terrible in the preseason.
3-14. Book it.
See,
7-10.
7-10. Yeah, I'm with you, Aaron. I'm more closer to the 7-10 piece. They look terrible.
You see them last?
The team looked terrible, though.
Chase Young ain't coming back before Halloween. The DBs is It's gonna be a long.
DBs look trash, dog.
Is Del Rio gonna make it through the end of the year?
He can't.
loyalty, but not because
No. Listen, I'm telling you, this year we on your that ranking, that defensive ranking. Oh, we tracking it every week. We tracking where the offense and the
they
defense
looking
rank
good.
every week.
I can tell
And
you.
if that Joe ain't up to snuff, trust me, we got whole new strategies this year, dog. That whole calling them bum and scrubs and stuff. No, we just gonna highlight your deficiencies. That's all we're gonna do. Had game tape up. We did it with Scott Turner. He got a little bit better, but he's still lackluster at times. We highlighting deficiencies out in the open. That's the bottom line.
No, they didn't draft a linebacker nor sign a linebacker, and Jamin Davis played on Saturday. That should tell you.
That's it.
The Bama that they was hyping was a Bama off the practice squad from like San Francisco, and now he's hurt. So it's just Jamin and Cole Holcomb and David Mayo. And he's splitting time with David Mayo, so it's going to be a long season because they did nothing to fix their deficiencies. Everything they could have done it. They just chose not to. All them Bama's coming out of Georgia. Like, who's the one that dropped, like, significantly in the draft out of Georgia? That Philly got. Like, them dummies could have got him, but they chose not to. So, make the bed to sleep in it. 3-14.
Are they winning week 1?
No.
Not what
I'm off the bandwagon, dog.
So I'm the only one got them getting a W in week 1.
You the only one, dog.
Man, you better put your money back on Trevor. That was your man. And he looking like the old Trevor now with Dougie P.
I'm working in Silvera right now.
I'm about to put no, this Bama drinking out of a
blender cup.
Blender cup.
That was a ninja cup.
Dog, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm going ahead and tease the spread on that jump to 5. And then I'm rocking with the Jags, dog. Fool me once.
Because what's the name was an idiot. Urban Meyer, he was a moron, and he clearly didn't care about coaching. He was partying. He's a frat boy. But yeah. Doug Peterson has a lot more cachet, and I trust him with what's the name quarterback over Urban Meyer.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I do too. Where's the game at? It's in Jacksonville?
DC? No, DC.
Oh, it's here?
Y'all getting a W, man.
That help a little bit.
What you mean, y'all? Go Steelers.
Rick done jump ship on us, dog.
Oh,
I ain't found the team yet.
If it wasn't,
I'm about to throw all the names in a hat, dog, and just.
I thought it was going to be the Jags when if Leftwich would have got the job, but wherever he go next year, that's where I'm going.
That's the goal. So I can come back. It got to bring back.
It ain't happening, dog. It ain't happening.
Oh, it's
they ain't hiring no black coach. NFC East is against it.
It ain't happening, dog.
You need to do it.
Follow us at OSS 980, and we out.